our secretary.
Yes.
So, yeah, so who took minutes last time?
So John was still trying to complete the minutes, so.
Oh, okay.
So we should be good.
Okay. All right, so whatever time it is.
6:31.
We're calling this meeting to order, and our very first piece of business is director's report.
Thank you. Well, I'm happy that the budget passed. We haven't met since that had happened. And so it was approved by about 200 votes, which is more significant than some of the other votes we've had in town. And it means that we're able to hire 2 high school interns and give Joe Riley, the branch manager at the Moodus branch, 5 more hours a week, and to give staff the standard 2.5% COLA raises. You can find the positions posted on the town website for the 2 interns, and also we're rehiring a position for Haley Alt, who left earlier this month, and that's a library assistant position. And the last year's budget FY25, ended at 99.3% spent, which is just about perfect. I didn't really plan it out to the penny, but it was close enough, so I'm very happy with 99.3% spent. In July and August, we had tons of special reading summer reading camp presentations, and several really excellent programs that we also housed at the Historical Society. And since the Friends sponsored those, I imagine they'll want to talk about them in their reports, so I won't go into details, but we were extremely happy with their support and with the programs that were given. They also had this month we had a cartooning workshop that was sponsored by a grant from the Community Foundation of Middlesex County and the Community Humanities. His name was Jason Diebel, and he's also a middle school teacher, and he does cartooning as a hobby. He's really talented at it. If you look at his website, you can see his cartoon strips and the work that he has done. And he also loves to teach. So in his spare time, he offers workshops to kids that want to learn how to create cartoons. And we actually had over 16 kids sign up for him, which was really good, because we don't have room for a lot more than that at our little library. And they were enthralled. He came with the guitar, and he was playing music, and then he put up a big scratch pad and taught them how to build, just by circles. This is what a standard face looks like. And then here's how you can make it a really fun cartoon face. Put a square eye here, and put eyebrows that go down. Immediately, your figure looks like he's evil, because he's got eyebrows that go down rather than happy eyebrows. So he taught them a few little tricks like that, and they were all really working hard and paying attention. So he was a big hit. And this grant was shared with the East Hampton Library and also the Portland Library. The 3 of us work together on collaborating events at times. And I also want to involve the new Haddam Library Director and coordinate with him on things too. So we're working on more regional collaboration. The Goodspeed Opera House continues to offer their Goodspeed Good Neighbor program. However, they've run out of vouchers for this particular production, so no more vouchers are available for All Shook Up, which ends next Saturday. However, they will be in touch with us about the next show they're doing, which is the Chorus Line, and that will start on September 5th. Our summer reading program has been great. Anastasia worked with school librarians so that we had just one summer reading program for the whole town. We were all doing the same thing, and the kids have been very excited about it, especially anxious to win prizes and strategizing on how to make sure they win the prize that they want.
Is this the first time that they've done it in collaboration with the school, or arranged it with the school?
Yes, often there's been two separate summer reading programs.
That's great.
Yeah. And because Anastasia went to school here and knows the libraries already, it made it easier, I think, for her to collaborate with them. And Anastasia's had a bunch of different programs every week, and she counted over 300 participants by the end of July. And I have a bunch of stuff to do on my to-do list for this fall. We have to have some policies approved by the Connecticut State Library because there's new legislation regarding collection development and guidelines for displays and things like that. So we have to incorporate legal language into our policies. So I'll be bringing them to the governing committee to look at, and then it goes to the state library, and we get those approved. And I also have to gather statistics for the Connecticut State Library Annual Report, which is a huge project, by October 1st. I also have to organize and conduct interviews for the new staff, for the physicians who are advertising, such as the interns and the library assistant. And then I also have been holding monthly all-staff library meetings, which have been great. Gives us a chance to really collaborate and merge the two staff together and working as a team, and that's really working well. But there are some things we really need to talk about separately at each branch, so they've also asked that we have separate branch meetings just with that staff, so I'm going to start doing that. And I need to continue advocating for a new library. And that's an agenda that we'll talk about some other time, but that's my report for, and I think things are going reasonably well.
All right, thank you. Does anyone have any questions or comments about that? Okay. Laurel?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
Yes. Evelyn, I really resonate with you saying that you need to really continue to advocate for the new library. You know, knowing that bonding is out until 2029, and knowing that, you know, there's a lot of strife in our community about what we're funding and what we're not funding, keeping you in the forefront of people's minds, keeping the library in the forefront of people's minds, and resonating and reminding them about the real restrictiveness that we have in our programming. You know, that we can only invite so many people to the cartooning workshop, or that the book club had to move across the road because we don't have a big enough meeting space for the land trust thing. I don't want us to be in a place where we have done so much legwork, and then come 2029, we're starting a new conversation, because as we know, in 3 years, everybody will be like, well, that, you know, 3 years ago, that was a different story. Mm-hmm. Keeping the libraries relevant, keeping us resonating with the community, and reminding them that don't forget us. We know we need more space. We want to keep doing these programs. That is a piece of it that I feel needs to keep up there.
I agree. Thank you for that, Laurel. We really do need to keep it in the public eye.
Yeah.
One thing that makes
there are so many other expensive projects that also have to be done, such as a new firehouse. That's kind of what kicked the library to the curb. That's the need for a new firehouse that kind of took the place of what we had hoped would be a referendum for a new library. And I don't know what to say about that.
Yeah, you know, that type of thing can be one of the key tasks of the Public Relations Committee. You know, which would probably, of any subcommittee, it probably falls to them. Is that part of the, would that be in keeping with the description of that subcommittee?
Yeah, I think that would be a good cause for us to watch out.
Yeah, and so they can help assist us in making sure things don't drop off the wayside.
Community value, I mean, I'm just looking at all these numbers of people that are attending these really awesome programs, like the bubbles and all of this stuff. And I don't know if there's a classy way to do this, but to kind of point out, hey, this is here because we don't have this space at the library, and this is why you're all here, and maybe a few little plugs there to kind of bring awareness to the need without, you know, making the event not fun and all about that, but just a few lines, just, you know, we're all here today, we should, you know, we're hoping for this down the line, keep it in your mind, enjoy the program.
Yeah.
Right, because if you don't say it when it's at the new place, people 3 years from now are going to say, you don't need a new library. Right. You're making these programs over here, so you're all set. you're already providing
Yeah.
a solution.
Yeah.
But if you do that
Yeah.
plug and say, we want it to be at the library, but that, I think,
Yeah.
And you can
brings
add other
life.
things in, it doesn't, you know, you could add, we want that plus this and plus that, and now you have an audience who is friendly to the library, enjoying the programs, and might be supportive come any sort of votes or moving out of the library.
So who generally?
One thing I do want to just interject here, because I have loved that this has just generated so much conversation. And it's all very important conversation. However, look how much bump the Historical Society is getting because of getting the kids in there for these summer programs.
I know.
Right, so the Historical Society probably isn't going to be like, oh yeah, let's definitely go for a bigger library because that's going to take their programs away from us. I want to keep that sort of integrated collaboration between our program shift. Certainly the Historical Society is as relevant as the library, but I think that the energy around the libraries and that reminder that, by the way, the reason this needs to be here is because I think that is an important message.
Well, the other one is that we're not ADA compliant. That's-
Yeah, I mean, the other
Right,
piece of that
right.
is
That's
handicap
really a
access,
major
which
piece. Right.
other facilities in town have, the libraries don't.
So my question now is who introduces these programs? Like when the audience is seated and it's about to begin and you introduce who is presenting this program?
Well, I did for the three that
Okay.
were not. I did it purposely.
It would be
These past weeks, on Tuesdays, the Coop Museum one, Joanne introduced, but she was already into doing different things with the kids. She had to start late due to road work that made it very difficult to get there.
All right. So would it be possible for, on your behalf, to write up 3 or 4 lines that anyone introducing the library program can read on your behalf, or my behalf, or our behalf? Just real brief and to the point.
Yeah, you could generate some sort of like a template, you know, fill in the blank.
Yeah, not to bore anybody or make people impatient, but just to get what's vital. Yeah.
That's my class, and you just
Public
pick-
service announcement.
Yeah, public service announcement, yep.
Yeah.
Mary?
One thing that was brought up at our last public relations meeting was whether or not at events like this, we should wear our name tags.
I think it's wearing name tags everywhere you go. At all times.
Sound like Bill.
I know. I feel like I should have mine on now. Bill would yell at me. Yeah.
So, you know, for the record, in the minutes, it was reported that we said no to that.
Why?
Well, because we felt that if you were working, like to me, like when I was a Lion and I was working an event, that I would have my Lion shirt on or thing, and so someone could come up to me and say, oh, I need help with boo-boo. We're not working the event, and in my opinion, it was like, we're not working the event. People who are working the event, if they had name tags like the library staff or something like that, they should, be public in case someone had questions or needed to ask questions about the program. Because being supportive of the event, we don't know much about the event, maybe.
Mhm.
That's something that I thought of when we were discussing it in governance.
And my feeling was, if we're there, and there's over
Chris,
100
can I
people
just
there.
ask you? If you did I hear you say correctly,
Laurel,
you're looking.
Mary's speaking right now. I'm
Oh,
sorry, you
all right,
can't hear her, but Mary's speaking.
If there's 100 people there, and everyone got up and introduced, unfortunately, you didn't have a mic, so it was very difficult to hear. But if people see us with the tag, they'll know, okay, well, this is Library and Historical Society. And I think just getting our presence out more frequently and saying, yeah, support our library. Isn't this wonderful? And we couldn't do this if we, in our present circumstances. So that's why we're here at the museum.
I don't know, our tags are minimalist and unintrusive, expensive, you know, it would be kind of like someone that says, I'm, you know, who has a vet jacket on,
Yeah.
you know, but, here, if it says the library, I don't know, and I think anyone who is wearing that would be able to say, I'm, having been involved in this event, they could probably find out who that asked forward. I don't know, that's my opinion. What's Laurel? Okay, Laurel, go ahead. Your turn.
Yeah, so I wasn't sure that I had heard the whole fulsome conversation. So yeah, identifiers. So I think that there are ways for us to plant information in that people would have a resource to go to during an event. So whatever's happening, looking for more information, flag, stuck in, I don't know, something nearby. If the t-shirts are flagging people, Hawaiian t-shirts flag people because they are purple, they say, I'm a lion, how can I help? You know, there's a big red flag there. You know when you get to a lion event, even a Leo's event, you know to look for red t-shirts. So I think with the library situation, we don't necessarily have a traditional theme to look for, but there are ways for us to put information in the programming, whether there are little flags tucked here and there's a little QR code that people can zoom in on to find out more information. I think that there are ways for us to tag people subtly without being overt. And if I missed it, overspoke or spoke over what other people said or duplicated what other people said, it's just hard because we're on the remote thing here.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, thank you. Yeah, I think the details of this, I guess it would bounce back to public relations, and, you know, I've just shared my opinion, but as that would be our subcommittee that we have to sort of defer to.
So I think I see both points. You know, I think there's value in both. But one place that we haven't mentioned that I think it would be really valuable and perhaps most important, not that I can do things in the evenings, but when you're in a town meeting or these budget meetings and stuff, that maybe that's where you can wear that you are from the library.
That's why some people wore t-shirts that, you know, supporting the Board of Ed budget.
Right, so that would be a really nice place to wear a badge, town meeting.
Yeah.
Or even just bringing a calendar for the upcoming events going on at the two libraries and just putting it out. When people walk in and have them say, okay, you know, this is what's happening, you know, not only here today, but going forward at the libraries. That could be a way that they would recognize it. I don't know, it just. It matches your shirt.
All very good points that, you know, in our effort to be out there so that people understand what's going on and we can continue to advocate for what we need. All right, any other discussion on? All right, so that brings us to the Finance Committee report. Evelyn touched on, you know, the fact that our last year's budget went right up to the penny. We can be proud of that. Fiscally responsible and kept the doors open. You know, a lot of gratitude to the town finance committee that kept our budget as proposed throughout all of this. Is there any, John, any other key points that we came up with?
No, I mean, can't really talk about this year's budget because we really just started.
Yeah.
And last year's, you know, Evelyn already said, we're 0.7% under the total, so we did good. She already talked about the grant that she's getting from the Riverview Cemetery for the display at the Rathman. Did you mention you're pursuing digitization of documents?
Yes, I also met with one of the members of the Riverview Cemetery Association to tell them that next year I'd like to get a quote for what's needed to make the collection that we have upstairs chairs in the library, school area, movable. For the point when we do move to the library, does it need to be digitized?
I mean, it's something that's been talked about for
Yeah.
15 years.
What would it cost? And then probably cost money just to get it assessed. And then we'll figure out what's in the actually.
Okay, so, yeah, so that's. Any questions for finance? All right, and now that brings us back around to public relations. Oh, governance. Oh, sorry, governance.
No worries. Okay, so we met and just went over a few topics, one being the upcoming municipal election. There are 2 Democratic candidates running, Laurel and Carrie, from my understanding. And
There was a,
I believe there's a 3rd candidate, but from my understanding, he's withdrawn.
yeah, but when you read the article, I don't know if he was listed, I think that was the man that was listed last.
know.
And I don't.
I'll double check with Kathy, because she had said that he had withdrawn.
Yeah, that's what I was-
reconsidered and withdrawn, so, that means there are 2 other open positions. Dawn is applying to be running for one, and we are still looking for a candidate for the other. It could be anybody that's not a Democrat, so any other party, or no party at all. Okay. The director evaluation, everybody, hopefully, John's gonna double check the access, but should have access to that. If not, I can email it to you. I'm just gonna briefly read a couple of comments. The overall sentiment was really positive for our director. Everyone is really happy with her. The only limitation being staffing shortages, preventing her from doing as much as she could possibly do. I just wanted to read 2 of the comments. One being, and I don't know who they are from, they're anonymous. I've only been on the library trustees for a short time, but in that time I have seen Evelyn demonstrate and act in nothing other than exemplary manner. Her passion and dedication as well as determination are remarkable. And one more, Evelyn has been a blessing for EHLS. She has endured so much in her tenure with staff shortages, issues with vendors, and the town and the budget. I personally feel she has mastered everything that has been asked of her. So if you want to dig into the details, it's on our Google Drive. The governance committee will begin our annual manual review coming up in September. We do that every year, you guys know. We also sent out a board effectiveness survey so we could evaluate ourselves. I have most of the replies, but they didn't come in before governance met. So we'll go over that and I'll summarize all that for our next meeting. And finally, Evelyn touched upon new policies surrounding, I think, particularly handbooks, but those will go through the state and will come back to governance and then to the board at large. Anything else happening?
It's a busy committee.
Yeah. Does anyone have any questions regarding governance? Mary?
I'm trying to get on that site and I couldn't.
Yeah, we know we're looking at it.
Yeah, he's gonna take a look. I tried to grant access, but I think, so John's gonna see why that's not working currently.
What website? What website?
The Google website, to
Oh,
see the
If
evaluation.
you try
That's
to
why my
click
computer-
the link she sent to get specifically directly to the evaluation, it prompts you to request access.
So maybe it's the link itself that I sent.
I'll
Maybe if you go in through the
I'll go look at it.
the
Just go
drive
through the
into
drives.
governance, under the director evaluation, it's there. It might have been my link. Maybe it's my link. I'm gonna try and get the link.
Because it says, pops up and says you've been successfully, able to download or read this. But then at the very top of the taskbar says denied. And you just can't,
I'll try to generate another link and see if that works for it. If not, John can help me generate it better.
I'll look at it when I get home.
anybody else have a comment?
Yeah, it
I've
didn't work
seen
for me
it.
either, so.
I'll do the business with you.
And I can Okay. All right. Anything else before we move on to public relations? Okay, public relations.
So we met and did it by Zoom because we're only going to be Evelyn and I able to physically attend. So the Zoom meeting worked out very well. And Chris was able to join us that way. So that was really nice because we had a face and not just a telephone call. So in the beginning of the meeting, we talked about the budget and how it was passed. And then went on to talk about, how Joe's hours were going to be increased, which is really nice, that he can spend more time here. And we talked about some of the summer programs and what worked and what didn't work. And three of us agreed that they were wonderful programs and just really got our name out there in the community. And what was mentioned too by Evelyn is that they had to turn cars away for the bubble mania. They wouldn't allow any more people into the parking lot or mine into the building. So I'm sure that we sort of stretched the amount of people that were allowed, but they kept on looking for more chairs. So that was a wonderful and I thought going forward we should recommend that one of the library staff is the bubble, get to be inside the bubble next year. And so one of the things that we talked about was having somebody from our board and whoever our board secretary, if that is Shay, to send a thank you note to the museum, thanking them for offering their space and not charging, for us to be there. And also their staff and helping set up everything in their chairs. So I'm not really sure who would be generating that letter.
Shay. And Shay, I think, is our corresponding secretary.
Okay, so do you want me to send her an email and ask her to do that, or would you like to?
That would be great if you wanted to do that.
Okay, not a problem. Absolutely, we'll do that. I'm going to sort of be reiterating some of the things that we talked about, what Evelyn talked about. Again, the community outreach that involved in terms of the good speed and how they're still willing to do that for us, which is amazing. And also, the cartoons and any of the other programs that came up. I guess basically it was a very quick meeting. I can't think of anything else that we talked about. One thing that
I think that covers it.
yeah, it's difficult because a lot of these things overlap.
Friends in PR, right?
Yeah. So I mean, I don't want to take anything away from what Carrie's going to talk about. But so we're going to meet again in September. I'm hoping that we'll be able to meet in person again.
I can't, I'm working. I can only dial in.
Okay. Or maybe even we could do Zoom again.
Yeah, we can do some again, absolutely.
Yeah.
I just,
And Zoom
I'm in the
works
middle,
really
it's the
well.
middle of my day, so.
Right. But it was nice having you, Zoom in.
Well, I've been calling it, so,
Right.
yeah.
And going forward, my request is that we can have a few more people join this committee.
Well, the way it works is like usually 3 or 4 people, it's divided evenly.
Right.
So you don't have, in order to meet quorum, you need like 2. So you don't have it really, you can't have like 4 people on one committee and 2 people on another committee. You have to have,
Same
like,
amount
split
of-
it up.
but It's in the manual like that it
Yeah.
has to be 3 people on each committee. I mean, if somebody wants to serve on extra committees,
Right.
That would be okay, but we have to have at least 3 per committee, which means 1 committee per person.
Yeah, and anyone, you don't want to create a committee with so many people that you have difficulty meeting quorum, because it has to be a percentage. So subcommittees, the recommended amount is based on the ability to consistently make quorum
Be able
for
to meet.
subcommittees. But anyone can, they're all open to the public, and, you know, anyone on the board who wants to come and share input certainly can do that.
But if, let's say, so me, Mary, Alice are on the committee. If you showed up and it was just you and her,
It would not.
would be
It
quorum,
wouldn't be a
because even though you're on the board, the two other people that are not on the committee aren't there.
But if you're just looking for support, I mean, you can even invite experts from the outside world to come in and assist with your committee. But as far as like members of the board to make quorum and make things official and be able to vote, the recommended is, you know, 3 or 4 people, depending on what we say, the manual. It's three.
Because there's always the same amount of people.
Yeah, so we were on the board,
on
and then
the-
it was 3, the way we set it up, 3 per committee to make it nice and even, and then, because we were trying to operate with 2, and when we went
No.
back to the manual, it's gotta be 3.
Right. But I mean, there's always the same amount of people on the board of trustees.
Yeah,
So
it's set.
it tends to be 3-3.
Yes.
Three.
Yeah.
And don't be shy about, you know, doing a shout out if you have a big thing coming up and you need more support from the board.
Right.
But we probably wouldn't change the amount of people actually.
You know, I reached out, and tried to get Alice to participate in the Zoom, so she hasn't been to her meetings for a long time. But, you know, that didn't work out, but maybe if we're still hard for the next meeting.
Maybe if she came and sat with you at your house.
That's what I was recommending.
Yeah.
She's in practice, but that's still good.
Pay for number one.
That's, yeah, if you need to talk more about that with governance, you're really happy to come on.
Thank you.
All right, are we ready for the Friends Liaison report?
Okay. Well, our biggest thing is the book sale. We have gotten lots and lots and lots of donations. Everything.
The whole
is-
library.
Yeah, we could start a library branch. There's, a gentleman who's been cleaning out, I guess, his father's books and bringing hundreds of books every week. And many of them are very old books. I mean, we're talking like 1800s. Well, you better come home.
Okay.
No. They're gonna have a book dealer come in. Jane has somebody who she's got contacts with, Evelyn's got somebody to, I don't know if they're gonna outright buy them or help sell them, but they just can't go out for donation. It's just, especially with these old books. And we're talking probably 4 bins, big bins worth piled up so far. He's got more books to come. And I guess
Exciting.
there are some signed books. There's some.
Yeah, that would be great to have someone evaluate what's of, you know, real value and be able to
And if
sell
they
those
could sell
separately.
them, whatever, and then another option we've got after all that is possibly taking them down to the book market and because I know they buy old books and all kinds of different things. So, we've got flyers, Anastasia will be making flyers. We could really use a little extra help in putting them out. We can go certain places, they don't have to just be in town. I put them up at Dollar General, River Provisions, Tony's Package Store last year, Centerbrook Post Office, Adams. In fact, I think I stuck one up in Stop and Shop, an extra one. And I just kind of walked in on their bulletin board and stuck it up. Any place, you know. So I hope they'll be ready at our next meeting. I'm not sure about that,
What's the date?
but for the book sale,
It's Columbus Day weekend.
they,
Columbus Day is
October
13th.
12th and 13th or something like that. No, 10th and 11th. it's Columbus Day weekend.
Yeah. Friday and Saturday?
Yeah, Friday, it'll be Friday afternoon, Saturday morning into early afternoon.
So the past couple of years, I haven't been able to do it because of the families have marathon thing. But let's change to Memorial Day weekend, so I might be able to be a schlepper for you.
Okay, and schlepping, yes, will be on the 9th
Ninth for schlepping.
for schlepping. I'm not sure of the time, but it's usually like around 2 in the afternoon. In the box, we do not have massive boxes. One of the women's husband has been cutting down boxes, so they're mostly like that. Things are labeled. If we have authors like Leon Steele and different ones like that, they're all together. And the paperbacks are all together. We've got wonderful children's books. Plan to come.
I'll be there.
Our newest member, who's my neighbor, she makes signs. The signs that go on the ground, and we're having some very basic sign made up that we can use year after year. It says book sale, East Hampton Grange, Friday and Saturday. That's all very, very basic, so that they can be used year after year. And doing it at a minimal cost. Let's see, somebody's going to look into possibly having the high school jazz band at the Old Town Hall, because the Yardley did not want to join us. They had been at the Old Town Hall last year, just had another draw besides the little show across the street. There is going to be a Friends pamphlet through Anastasia's help, this is Barbara Kylie's. It is just a really basic thing to hand out at various functions, and it just incorporates both Friends groups. You know, it doesn't, I don't remember the exact thing, but so this way we have something, again, working together. Then we have a children's drawing going on. This is the second one that the kids are, I saw a little one this morning come in with his mom and baby sibling, and he was so excited. He has a system. He goes and he looks in the drawing containers, and he's so excited because one of them, he's the only one still so far. And he got a second ticket for his little tiny brother. He put it in for a stuffed animal for his. Yeah. So the kids are really excited. There's lots of tickets still now. The author's book showcase, we're plugging along. We've got, I think, at least 12 to 14 definite authors. I think I did 11 responses, 11 for returning authors. We went through and chose some authors to return, and then reaching out to try to get new authors. But it's coming. Oh, and the hoop, if you guys, if they have it back next year, the hoop lady, the museum, she is awesome. I went for part of it. She had those kids engaged, she had adults engaged, and it was really interesting. You can learn so much. She makes it engaging. She had a hoop back, and she had slippers on her feet. And she had honey made from bee poop in the museum for anybody who wanted to try. The bees have got these little bubbles, their poops are these little bubbles, and they kind of exchange it. I don't know, make honey somehow. But she had all the little kids who wanted to come sit down and find. And I guess she has a part 2 too.
All right.
Get it, part 2?
There's a part 2.
If I get it?
Oh,
Oh, boy. All right, well, thank you. Any questions for Carrie? All right.
How do you think that you, the older books, are you going to do that like
I don't know the specifics, this is the first for us to get this. That's wonderful. And you have till the end of September to bring books in if you have to do that.
All right, Mary, do you have Friends information?
Yes, I didn't go to their last Friends meeting in July, that was on the 7th. I did call Janet and talk to her about what went on at that meeting, and she just said it was a very short meeting. They discussed some of the programs that they had, co-sponsored this summer, and ones that were really successful. Again, the Marionettes, that was, very successful, but they think that if it was done at another time of the year, like maybe in the winter, then it would draw more, so they're going to pursue that. And that's when the company that does the Tanglewood puppeteers, that's what they thought would work best too. If we don't have the tornadoes, we might have a hurricane or a blizzard, but it's hard to say. Bubble Mania, again, was just wonderful. And, Bubble Mania and the Sharks and the Coop, you just wanted more programs through the summer, and parents having something to do with the children and to get out and to be engaged. So that is something I'm going to bring up at the next
Well, the
Friends
Land
meeting.
Trust, or somebody did one today.
Snakes and turtles.
Yeah.
Okay, and going forward, they're planning now for, the next big event is the float gris people coming in to go to the ferry houses. And that was going to be held in the Grange. That would be lots of fun. Lots of fun for us to go too.
I'm already getting requests from people who want to sign up for that.
Oh, good. Are they going to have a limit?
Probably, yeah.
And the big event coming up also is the Half Pint Ferry Village. And that takes a lot of organization. That's going to be the focus for their next meeting in September, planning who's going to be who's going to be the face painting, and the wagon with the food and all that. So that's going to be their focus going forward at the next meeting. And did you attend that meeting? Yeah.
I go to both meetings.
All right, thank you. All right, now, unfinished business, we touched on the internship program already with finance.
Is that something that we can remove now that that's in the budget?
It's in the budget.
So
Yeah.
can we remove that as a line item on our agenda?
Okay, and you can just keep us posted in your director's report.
I dropped the last budget because I didn't go into the new one now.
Yeah. 2025, 2026 budget, I think we covered that in finance. Does anyone have anything to talk about with this upcoming budget at this point?
It was approved, that's the important.
Yep. Yep, that is definitely it. All right. Anything new with the strategic
No, I
planning?
gave a fairly detailed report at the last meeting
Yeah.
about the strategic plan, what we have accomplished this year. So the next step is to set goals for next year, which
Okay.
I'll bring to you.
Are you setting next goals for next year? The next step. All right. Oh, presentation boards for the new library facility. Is that something that is tabled for indefinitely?
It is. Well, I wanted to talk about that at some point before Irene is gone.
Okay.
Maybe we should meet with her and find out.
Yeah, I debated taking it off, and then I said, last time we just shelved it, it wasn't gone.
Right.
So I sort of left it on the agenda as a placeholder, but didn't think there was anything specific at this point without at least checking with Irene.
It seems
I think we should-
pointless to really do much with it right now. because you're probably at least 2 years away from doing anything with them.
We might want to think of new places than the ones that are on the presentation board.
Right, right. So do we want to just leave it on the agenda for now, so I didn't want to lose track of it, was sort of my thinking. Because it's the only thing on here that we have really specific. with-
Well, I mean, you could leave it on there because Evelyn will kind of touch base with
Right.
Irene over the next month, and then we can revisit the
Yeah,
topic
and
at
I'll just
least.
leave new library facility.
I was about to
updates
say, maybe
instead
we can just, leave some sort of placeholder for the new
Yeah.
library.
So maybe
I'll do
change it from that to just new library.
Yeah, I'll do new library updates, facility updates. Okay.
Okay. All right. And as far as cuts to IMLS, is there anything new or more impactful than we've talked about in the past?
No, nothing new has happened.
And so
Yeah,
we'll probably
we
take off the
discussed that
message.
pretty thoroughly in terms of what's going to affect us and what we have the capacity to do anything about.
So I'm going to remove that going forward.
It's
unless
one of the
something
things
comes
people
up.
can still press their legislators for.
Yeah, I mean, it's really, it's out of our control. It's, it's at the state and the federal level.
Right.
Yeah.
So I'll remove it unless we have a specific effect and things come into effect that impact us.
Yeah. Yeah, you let us know, put that on the agenda for something new and exciting. All right, new business. I don't think August is the time that you generally like whip up a whole bunch of new business.
No.
So, I forgot to ask people to send you emails if they had questions, but do we have any sort of audience of citizens at the moment? All right, if anyone watching does have questions or comments for us, please send an email to emorgan@easthathamlibrarysystem.org, and someone will respond. All right. Does anyone have anything else? Is everyone okay? Does anyone have an objection to us adjourning this meeting? Okay, we are adjourned without objection.
7:19.